हरि ओम। वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुदेवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करभावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Namaste friends. Team Param Vedanta welcomes you all to session 3 of Mananam series. In our last session, Dr. Hegde sir completed the story part of the first Valli in chapter 1 with mantras 1 to 19 of this beautiful Upanishad. In the remaining 9 mantras of Valli 1 from 20 to 29, Yamadharma Raja tries to dissuade Nachiketas from seeking knowledge about death and thereafter. But Nachiketas will not get distracted by Yamadharma Raja's alluring. Our understanding of these mantras will get further deepened with the teaching quiz of Dr. Anupama after the talk by Dr. Hegde sir. Now, let's listen to Hegde sir first. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Shri Venkatesh Prasad. Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vaivasvataya Mrityave Brahma Vidyacharyaya Nachiketa Secha. We are studying Kathopanishad once again, but this time the context is Mananam. Mananam means I have learned them before, but we are listening to it once again so that all our doubts are clarified. Why? Because if there is any doubt in these Shruti means these Vedic words, we are not going to swallow them. We are not going to make it a part of our life. So we are studying them once again. We relook at those verses and we have a question answer session. So Mananam is the second stage of Vedantic sadhana following Shravanam. That means the teacher has given us this knowledge. Now we sit in satsang and we relook at what we have got. So the whole purpose is every time a knowledge is given, the intellect in all of us will have a doubt. Is it true? Is this right or is that right? So our job is to remove all these doubts and to help us to convert intellectual knowledge into a firm conviction so that this can become integrated into our life. Let us relook into the story of Kathopanishad. A certain Vajashravas, very famous for his Annadanam, was doing a Visvajit Yaga. And his young 8-9-year-old boy was observing, but then he saw a certain flaw when it came to the portion of giving dana, because the father was giving certain cattle which were not useful for anybody. And he wants to see that his father, because whenever you're doing a sakama yaga, if it is not done properly, you will not only get the benefit, you can get it can incur sin, and he didn't want to incur sin. So he accidentally asked his father, whom are you giving me to? And when he said the third time, he said, I'm giving you to death. And the story goes that Nachiketa now approaches the Lord of Death, and he had to wait him for 3 days and 3 nights without food. And now comes the moment when Yamadharma Raja approaches him. And as Nachiketa approaches him, he says, I'm extremely sorry. I have not been a good host. You had to wait for me for 3 days. So I give you 3 boons. And in the last class, we saw what were the first and the second boon. Yamadharma Raja had absolutely no problem in sanctioning the first and the second boon. What was the first boon? The first boon was The little boy was concerned about my father. My father has lost his son. And what an agony the father would go through. Is he able to sleep in peace? Is he have any sense of guilt? And the first boon ever that he gets with the great Devata who can grant him whatever he wants is, I want my father's mental well-being. And he asks in relation to, and this is what all of us need. If we have to fulfill all our debts in this world, it is our pitrina. And how do we fulfill that? By being a worthy child of our parents. So that was the first debt. The second is called lokarina. And this little boy knows something about the heavens. And in the heavens, these six urmis, or the six things which torment all of us. So our pranamaya kosha is tormented by hunger and thirst. You may have had a good meal, but 4 hours later, again there is hunger, there is thirst. Our mind is tormented by sorrow and delusion, whereas our body is tormented by aging and death. It is said that these six urmis are not there in heaven. And if there is such a place, then all of us would like to get there. So, what is that sadhana? What is that technique that helps us to go? And that is what he asks us. And this is called the Agni, a certain Agni ritual, which Yamadharmaraja was aware of. And there we know there were three meanings. Now, Vachyartha means a sacred, means fire. But what is the Lakshyartha? The implied meaning has got multiple meanings. And in the last class, we discussed that whenever you say Agni, because in the Upanishad, the word mentioned only is Agni. But based on the context, you should say, does it mean the sacred ritual? Does it mean the sacred fire? Does it mean the Virat Devata? Does it mean the Devata? There was the 17th and the 18th mantra were important mantras, where Lord Yamadharmaraja was saying how a person can attain to the highest in the relative world. In fact, he was giving Nachiketa more than what he asked. He says, if you are able to do this ritual 3 times, and not only that, you should be a wholesome person. You should be a person of good conduct. And what is that good conduct? He says you should have proper relationship with Matra Devo Bhava, Pitra Devo Bhava, Acharya Devo Bhava. You can add Atiti Devo Bhava. That means I'm able to have these fundamental relationships very clear in my life. He also brought about the importance of Yajna, Dana, Tapaha, and Swadhyaya. Swadhyaya, it's exactly what we're doing now. We're doing scriptural studies, some form of prayer, and dana and tapaha. If you're able to do all this, then you become a holistic person. In addition to the ritual, if you're able to do meditation, you go to the highest loka, and that is the highest that is possible in the relative world. And this is where we stopped in the last class. We also touched on one story, if you remember that story of that parrot, which I described in the last class. And what is the objective of that story? The parrot gave a certain message to the owner of the parrot. He said, if you want true freedom, here freedom means Parama Purushartha or Moksha. You must die before you die. What in me must die? The ahankara must die. The feeling that I am other than you, I am apart from you. In Samskrita, you have a very nice word called abhinna, not apart from. So when you see yourself as not a part, that means I am not uniquely, but as body mind, I have an experience of being different from everybody else. This is only for transactional purposes. The sense of limitations, that has to go. And if you're able to drop this before you really die, and that is the whole reason why we are studying this great Upanishad under the guidance of a great Acharya, Yamadharmaraja. In today's class, we will conclude only one. We will be looking at the very important mantras 20 to 29. Let us look at the mantra 20. This mantra is a very important mantra. Yeyam prite vichikitsa manushye. Asti iti eke nayam asti iti che eke. Now, this is what I want to know. This is an important mantra, and this is a turning point mantra in the whole of Kathopanishad. So the question asked by Nachiketa is this. Ya iyam vichikitsa. Vichikitsa means there is a doubt. Manushye, about all of us human beings. Prete, when a person dies, there is a certain doubt. Yeke. Yeke means some people say, iti ayam is asti. That means when a person dies, he does not completely die. There is something that continues to survive. Cha eke, some others say, iti na asti. So there is a controversy. Now remember, whenever there is a controversy, now here in this context, when a person dies, is the death the end of our existence, or is there something that continues after death? Now, whenever there is a controversy, remember there must be some truth in both. So let us see what is that truth. So this boy, and he's asking such a great person like Yamadharmaraja, who's on the threshold of life and death. Nobody else can answer this question. So he uses the word anushishhtataha. Anushishta tvaya. I want to be instructed by you. Aham vidyam. I would like to understand yetad, this. And Varanam, among the boons, Yesha Tritiya Varaha. You have given me 3 boons. In the third boon, I want to know what really happens after death. What is that which survives the death of a person? Now, let us analyze this question. Nachiketa, what is Nachiketa really asking for? Now, why is this verse or this mantra so important? Because in this verse, Nachiketa is asking for Atma Jnanam. And therefore, this is a shift from Veda Purva to Veda Anta, from Karma Kanda to Jnana Kanda. And from now on, the entire Kathopanishad is an answer to this boon. In short, the question is really what happens after death. Whenever somebody dies, we use this expression, he has gone. He has gone means what? The body is still there. I can see the body here. Who has gone? The gross body continues to be there. Are we asking about, is there something called an Atma? Is there something called the subtle body? Now, normally when we have to explain to each other, we try to give the explanation of the traditional older phones which had a SIM card. The moment you remove the SIM card, the phone technically is unfunctional. The phone appears to be dead. But then if you reinsert the SIM card or you take the SIM card and put it into another phone, all the data of identity and our past transactions continue in that small SIM card. The SIM card now represents the subtle body, whereas the hardware, the phone, represents the gross body. So in our own understanding, if you go through Tattva Bodha, we know from Tattva Bodha, which is not explained in the Upanishad. The Upanishad assumes that we know all these fundamentals. What is our body says? We have a gross body, which all of us can see with each other. There is a subtle body, which only I can see. Subtle body means my mind, my prana shakti, manas, buddhi, ahankara, and chitta, which forms my subtle body. Now then there is the causal body. The causal body is the storehouse of the subtle body. That means when the subtle body also resolves, it comes into the causal body. So therefore, all of us have 3 bodies. And whenever Atma reflects on the body, there is a reflected consciousness. And there is also the Atma, the original consciousness, which is always there. So what really dies, it is only the gross body dies. And with the gross body, the reflected consciousness also goes. And what remains is the subtle body and the causal body that travels from one life to another, whereas the original consciousness is always there. Now, this is what we have to pick up when Yamadharmaraja is going to teach us in all the subsequent verses. Now we go to the next verse. Now here, as I said, when you look at each of this mantra, you will not be able to know, is this spoken by Nachiketa or is it spoken by Yamadharmaraja, the teacher? So this is the answer by Yamadharmaraja. Devai atrapi. Now, atra, which means regarding that question that you asked, Vichikitsam, about the doubt that you have raised, Nachiketa, Yamadharmaraja is saying, Api devaihi, even the gods, pura, for a long time, nahi suvigneyam, even the gods have the doubts. And this question that you asked, what is this question? Yesha dharmaha. The word dharmaha refers to Atma. The question that you asked is about that Atma. So you have the answer given here by Yamadharmaraja. Adi Shankara says the word dharma here refers to Atma. This Atma that you're going to asking us about, suvigneya, it is not easily understood at all. And even gods have a certain doubt about this. Why? Anuhu. This Atma is extremely subtle. And therefore, I will tell you, Vrinishwa, please choose Ayam Varam. Choose something else. Ma Uparotsihi. Uparotsihi means don't compel me. It is like when you have lent money to somebody and that person is not able to lend that money, return that money on the appointed date. But then the person is begging for some more time. But you say, no, no, you have to return it today. Now that is when you will say, Ma Uparotsi, don't put me under such a pressure. That is the kind of verse Yamadharmaraja is saying. Ma here means me, and Ma also means no. So please give up. Atisrija enam. Please give up this question. So you will see now he's giving you logic. He's giving you two reasons. The reasons are the question that you asked me about this dharma, this Atma, extremely difficult to understand. And you're a small boy. How can I tell it to you? And even the devas in the heavens who are more evolved faculties, they are not able to understand. And this is an extremely subtle topic. So please ask for something else. This may not be a good boon for you. Now, remember, now the question is about giving Brahma Vidya. Lord Yama is a Shrotriya Brahmanishta. The word Shrotriya literally means one who has heard the Shrutis, the one who has internalized the Shrutis and has the ability to communicate. Brahmanishta is one who is established. So Lord Yama is the great teacher. But the question is, whenever you have this great teaching that we are talking about in these classes, is the student prepared? Is Nachiketa ready to receive it? There is no point giving the teaching to somebody who's not qualified. Why? The person is not going to understand. Even if he's not able to understand, he will misunderstand. And if he misunderstands and he teaches others based on his misunderstanding, then you can have more problems. And therefore, all the teachers have been told that you have to teach only to a certain prepared student. And also, this is a very, very subtle teaching. Why? It is not about any object. Now, all of us are teachers, and when we teach about the human brain or any organ of the body, we can show it to somebody as an object. Therefore, it can be grasped by our sense organs and we can perceive it. But when we are talking about the Atma, it is not about any object. It is the ultimate observer, the one who's trying to study. So through my own mind, I'm trying to understand something which is beyond the mind. And so this is the difficulty for every teacher. And the teacher is now testing to see whether this boy is eligible or not. So we go to the next mantra, which is mantra number 22. And then here, this is the reply by Nachiketa. So you see, now, this is the beauty about logic. The beauty about logic is you can use the same logic from your perspective. So logic, now sometimes, you know, there is a contention between two parties, but both the parties are using the same logic. And this is exactly what Nachiketa does. And Nachiketa says, Atra Kila, regarding this Vichikitsitam, about this doubt, Api Devaihi, even the gods had this doubt. Oh, Mrityu, I did not know that this was something even the gods here means all the devatas in heavens. Tvam cha attha, you say so, and you say it is extremely difficult to understand. Suvigneyam. So, if it is extremely difficult to understand, if it is something so rarefied that even the gods on the heavens are not able to get it, then this is something that I really want. And moreover, he says, Twadrik, like you, somebody like you, Anya Vakta, how can I find a better teacher than you? And see, my good luck, I have found a teacher like you. And having found a teacher like this, there is no other boon. Tulya yetasya, there is no other boon because I have found the right teacher and I have got something so precious. I want this alone. And you will see these are these mantras which talk about Tivra mumukshutvam. That means you give a person logic and the person is able to logically say, you know, why I want that. So however much the teacher tries to dissuade, the student persists on. So, so this is an elaboration. What was supposed to be a discouragement proves to be an encouragement. So what he says, oh, so even the gods are not about so clear about it. If it is something so rare, it must be valuable. It must be worth seeing. And can I get a teacher better than Lord Yama? So he concludes in this verse, that is verse number, I think it's verse number 22. I want this boon alone. Now, how do we discourage? Now, whenever you want to discourage somebody, then this is what normally everybody does, and you will see the strategy of Yamadharmaraja. Initially, logic was used, and the same logic was turned back. Then we can give temptations. Temptations can be classified into three categories: the temptation of wealth, the temptation of pleasure, the temptation about offering somebody security and long life, good health, long life. Now, these are all these things which all of us will fall for. And let us see how Nachiketa is going to be tempted in the next verse. And the verse number, mantra number 23. And he says, choose. Vrinishva, please choose. Putra Pautran, you know, Shatayushu, hundreds of years. I'm willing to give you. See, in those days, wealth was in the form of animals. Like you can have a lot of cows, you can have elephants, you can have horses, you can have a vast kingdom. I will make you the king of the earth, and you can live for as long as you want. Now, whatever you want, I'm able to give you. Now, these are all tests for what is called vairagya, that how much, how intense and what all are you willing to give up for what you really want. So he's giving various worldly temptations, which can be classified as long life, security, wealth, and all forms of pleasure that we would be tempted to fall off. And then he proceeds to say, see, this is what is in my idea. Yadi manyase, if you think of any other varam, any other boon, etat tulyam, equal to this vrinishva, please choose vittam, all the possible wealth that you want. Cha, chira jeevikam, long life. You can become an emperor of the world, and I will give you the ability and all kinds of pleasures and a body that can experience all kinds of pleasures. Now, all of us are seekers of Atma Jnanam. And when you are on the path of Atma Jnanam, it will come in the next, that whenever we are on the spiritual path, we always have to ask, which is the choice in my life? And the choice, which will be very clear, is Shreyas or praise? Is it the pleasant path that I'm going to take, or is it that difficult path, but that what is really good for me? And what is good for me requires a lot of vairagya and tivra mumukshutvam. And what does it mean? Ready to lose anything at any time. That is what is called vairagya. He says, now choose all kinds of pleasures. He says, if you're not happy about the pleasures of this world, I will reveal to you the pleasures of Swarga and various forms of apsaras, vidya, musical instruments, sarataha, saturya. They will come with all your musical instruments. This kind of things which you never see on the world, this world, I will be able to give you. Choose freely. But about that question you asked about death, no, about Maranam, please do not ask me about that. So he's persisting up to 25. That means he's ready to make him, give him whatever you choose, whether in this world or the worlds in heavens. So he continues to tempt him, and that's what we have seen. Now, what is the reply that Nachiketa gives? And this is a very important mantra, mantra number 26. Antakaha. Antakaha means one who brings things to an end. And that is why Yamadharmaraja is also referred to as Antakaha. And this mantra begins by a very important word, Shobhava. Shwa means tomorrow. Abhava means that which may not be there tomorrow. In the Mahabharata, there is a story where when the Pandavas were in the forest, a certain beggar comes asking for something. And when the Dharmaraja tells him, please come tomorrow. It is said Bhima gave a big laughter. He says, my brother has conquered time. How will you know that tomorrow is going to come and that you'll be able to give tomorrow? So, what is going to happen tomorrow, we do not know. And we are living in so much of uncertainty. And this little boy was able to see all that which you're going to offer. And he says, including your own position as Yama, is all a temporary position. All these are Shwa Abhava. Shwa here means tomorrow. And additionally, he gives more reasoning, which will tell us that he has got vairagya based on viveka. And viveka is discrimination. Jarayanti. See, whenever you become indulgent in eating or all forms of pleasure, all our bodily components will deteriorate, they weaken. The teja, the brightness diminishes of all the sarvendriyana. So, in a mortal human being, this is the possibility. So he said, so this is the firm answer. He says, all those tavavaha, those vehicles you offered, nritya gite, those dances, tava eva, please keep them for yourself. So in spite of the maximum temptation that a devata could give, the little boy was able to give. What he gave was his vairagya was based on viveka. And remember the word shobhava. That means everything. I will explain again in words now. Nachiketa declines all that was offered by Lord Yama. He shows that he has got two qualities to pursue jnana. One is tivra mumukshutvam. I want this and I want this only. All other goals are. And I have vairagya. Vairagya means I'm ready to give up anything for my goal. And is this vairagya based on ignorance? No, it is based on knowledge. It is based on viveka. What is that viveka? Whatever you're going to give me, I know they're all temporary. And what we, Swamiji calls this, are these all Vishayananda or Atmananda? Anything that is Vishayananda, is mixed with sorrow, it does not give me complete pleasure and it causes various forms of bondage. Moreover, the sense organs weaken and lose their capacity to function over a period of time. Every form of life, including that of Brahmaji, is limited. So, out of discrimination, he says, I want Parama Purushartha or Moksha alone. This is another very famous quoted verse, mantra number 27. Na vittena tarpaneya manushyaha. Now, we know from our experiences and people around us, however much money you give somebody, manushyaha na tarpaniya. Tarpaniya means tripti. You never get satisfied vittena, through wealth. And then he gives some nice argument. See, I have had an opportunity to see a devata. Having seen you, I know I will be rich. You are not going to send me empty handed. So I will certainly have all the wealth that I can give. Also, you are in charge of the Department of Death. And having seen you, one thing is also certain. I will be blessed with as long a life as I wish. And as far as long life is concerned, as far as wealth is concerned, that is not my concern at all. By good chance, I've had a chance to meet with you. And so Nachiketa is, displaying his discrimination or viveka based vairagya. And he's also saying that you're not going to send me empty handed. And now that I've got to know you, I will have that blessing of long life. Mantra number 28. This is the second last mantra. And here he says, Abhidhyayan, having closely examined all that you gave me. Varna Rati Pramodan. So all the pleasures that you have given me about music and sport, Prajanan, I am aware of their limitations. See, I have come from the world of mortals. I have come uh, from the earth. Kwadaha, Kwadaha. I have come from the earth, and I have got a chance to meet a person like you who's relatively immortal. And having got such a wonderful chance to be able to meet you, why will I ask for anything that is temporary? So I want this and I want nothing else. So this is his final, the last mantra, the 29th mantra. He says, O Mrityu, that question I asked, Yasmin, Vichikitsam, about that doubt that we have. When a person dies, what is that which continues to survive? He knows that he has left one earth, but he continues to be there. So he is not talking about the subtle body or the causal body. He's talking about that Atma, that which is that knowledge, Gudam, that hidden knowledge. That is what I want, and that is what I seek from you. So, the final conclusion in the 29th mantra, he says, he does not want any other boon other than Atma Vidya. And this boon is the boon of self knowledge. It is a hidden knowledge, it is not easily accessible because even devas do not have access to this knowledge. And I want to know about that Atma which is beyond the body. So there is one word which says Nachiketa will not settle for anything else. Now it looks a little arrogant to say, sometimes when you can say, I will not settle for anything. But when you put your name and say Nachiketa will not settle, it looks arrogant. Adi Shankara says the last line which says Nachiketa will not settle for anything else. These are the words of the Shruti. And the Shruti is saying that Nachiketa, having considered all that, he will not choose anything. So ultimately, all these mantras from 21 to 29 show that if you want Brahma Vidya, you should have viveka. You should have vairagya. You should have tivra mumukshutvam. All these three things have been demonstrated in these mantras. Also, Shama Adi Shakta Sampatti, Shraddha is there, Titiksha is there. 3 days and 3 nights he was able to wait for whatever he want. He had Shraddha, he had that Meda Shakti, the ability to remember. So various control on his sense organs and Samadhana, single pointedness. So every possible qualification that we have has been demonstrated. And as I said, with that we conclude today's class. And we will have a Mananam. That means Dr. Anupama now will ask direct questions to say, have you understood these mantras? If you have understood these mantras, let us see how we can answer these questions. Dr. Anupama, please can you, and I will try to attempt to answer your questions.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. It was a brilliant session, sir. Very, very clear. There should be no difficulty at all to answer any of these questions. We have seen in this verse 20, Yeyam prete vichikitsa manushe asti iti eke na ayam asti iti cha eke eta etad vidyam anushishta tvam aham. Nachiketas wants this doubt cleared, as we have just here heard. What is it that survives a person after death? So, what is the significance of this third boon? Please say true or false. A transition from Veda Purva to Vedanta.
It should be true.
A prelude to the possibility of survival after death.
Yes, because it is not like Charvaka who says that, that all these discussions say that there is something that survives. So the answer should be true.
An awareness of being more than the physical body.
Again, true.
An expression of fear or desperation on the part of Nachiketas.
Certainly false.
The entire Kathopanishad is an answer to this question.
True. Please give us the results. Please answer these questions.
Yeah. All right, sir. The
Please,
significance of this boon was it's a transition from Veda Purva to Vedanta and a prelude to the possibility of something surviving us after death, surviving the physical body, an awareness of being more than this physical body. The entire Kathopanishad is an answer to this question. Nachiketas was never fearful or desperate. So, in this block, there are a few words. Can you please choose which of these words belong to the boons mentioned, first, second, and third? Vedanta, the relevance. Vedanta.
Vedanta should come in the third boon.
Adhyaropa.
Adhyaropa means deliberate superimposition. This will happen in the first boon and the second boon.
Paraloka phalam.
Paraloka phalam would be the second boon.
That's right. Advaita.
It should be the third boon.
Jnana kanda.
Should be the third boon again.
Apavada.
Apavada should be third boon.
Veda purva.
First and second.
Vaitam.
First and second.
Loka palam.
First boon.
Moksha.
Third boon.
Anatma prapancha.
First and second.
Karma khanda.
First and second.
Arthakama.
First and second. First.
Yeah. First. Okay. Dharma.
Dharma should be second boon.
Yes, that's right.
Please go through it once again.
Okay. So the first boon, the words that you could describe are Adhyaropa, Veda Purva, Dvaitam, Ihaloka Phalam, Anatma Prapancha, Karma Kanda, and Arthakama. The second is also Adhyaropa, but Paraloka Phalam, Veda Purva, Dvaitam, also Anatma Prapancha, Karma Kanda, and Dharma. The third boon, Vedanta, Advaita, Jnana Kanda, Apavada, and Moksha. Please name three differences between the Jivatma of Karma Kanda, a person who has chosen Karma Kanda, and the one who has chosen Jnana Kanda.
All right. I have to look at these answers from our Drik Drishya Viveka, which talk about the three types of jivas, where I'm talking about the Jnana Kanda jiva. Now, one jiva is a limited jiva, the other is a limitless jiva. The first jiva, although we use the word jiva, in the jivatma of karma kanda is full of limitations, and jivatma of jnana kanda is a limitless jiva. Any more hints? Can you give me some clues to make any other distinction?
The karma kanda and jnana kanda, you can see, no, karta, bhokta, akarta.
The jiva of jivatma is a karta bhokta, whereas the jiva of jnana kanda is akarta abhokta.
Then how do they end their lives? One goes in circles.
One goes into punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam. The other was a jivan muktaha. So there is no returning back.
In terms of the way they feel, to which format do they belong?
One is the triangular format of Jiva Jagatishvara. The other is a binary format where of Jivatma, Paramatma, Aikyam.
That's right.
Please explain.
The karma khanda person is a karta bhokta. He leaves the body, travels after death to various loka, therefore has punarapi jananam and maranam. He belongs to the triangular format of Ishvara Jiva Jagata and he needs Ishvara Kripa. The jnana khanda person is nakarta bhokta, abhokta. He is nitya, sarvagata, no death, no travel, and he has moksha. In the binary format, believing Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya, Jivo Brahma Eva Naparaha.
Good. Please continue.
So, in the same verse, Yeyam Prete Vichikitsa Manushye. So, Ya Iyam Vichikitsa Manushya Prete. So, as you just explained, when the jiva dies, some say the surviving principle other than the dead body. Some believe that the death of the body is the death of the individual. But Nachiketas is interested in what is the principle that survives the body after death. Is he interested in the Sukshma Karana Sharira or the Atma?
Certainly not Sukshma Karana Sharira, because there he's asked for the second boon. The second boon deals with the benefits for the Sukshma Karana Sharira, the highest of heavens. So the question should be for Atma.
That's right. He wants to know the Brahma Tattvam. Next one, please. Okay. Now, this is what is said by Yamadharmaraja. As we have just said, Devaihi tatra api vichikitsitam pura nahi suvignyeyam anuresha dharmaha. So, we get the feeling that Yamadharmaraja is reluctant to answer this question or grant him this boon. Can you tell the most appropriate reason why this is so? Is it because Nachiketas is too young for Atmajnanam? Is it because he, Yamadharmaraja, is not a Shrotriya Brahmanishta to impart this lofty wisdom? Is it because he needed to confirm that Nachiketas was a Brahman by Jati? Or is it because he was assessing Nachiketa's eligibility for this Brahma Vidya?
The answer, easy to choose. It is, he was trying to assess Nachiketa's eligibility for Brahma Vidya.
That's right. Next.
Explain?
Yeah, no, nothing. It's the rest is it's very well explained already. Shall we go to the next one?
Yeah. Can you see it?
Yeah. So please use the words in the block below to appropriate word to fill in these blanks. A qualified student in Shastra we know is called an Adhikari. A few words about this Adhikari. The qualifications needed are collectively called by this word, which would describe the Adhikari.
Sadhana Chatustaya Sampanna.
Yes. Viveka means discrimination between dash and dash vastu.
Between Nitya and Anitya.
In this verse, Yamadharmaraja is looking for which quality in Nachiketas?
He is looking for Tivra mumukshutvam.
That's right. So discrimination, dispassion, and desire, the 3 Ds, are acquired and nourished by which yoga?
Through Karma Yoga.
And Samadhi Shatka Sampati is acquired by?
Upasana Yoga.
Therefore,
Karma Yoga and Upasana Yoga make a person Sadhana Chatusaya Sampanna and give Jnana Yogyata.
that's right.
Do you want to go through the answers once again? Please go through, because this is a Mananam session.
So, an Adhikari is a qualified person, and because he has all the gunas, he is called a sadhana chatushtaya sampanna. Viveka means discrimination between nitya and anitya vastu. And in this verse, Yamadharmaraja is looking for mumukshutvam, tivra mumukshutvam in Nachiketas. Discrimination, dispassion, and desire are acquired and nourished by karma yoga, whereas Samadhi Shatka Sampatti is acquired by Upasana Yoga. Therefore, karma and Upasana Yogas together make a person a sadhana chatushtaya sampanna and give him jnana yogyata. So, etymologically, dharma means that which sustains. Dharanat iti dharma. So, there is a block below where you can choose the correct answer. When dharma refers to ethics and morality, it sustains?
It sustains a society.
When dharma refers to the ultimate substratum of the universe, it
refers to Atma.
And when it sustains srishti, sthiti, and laya of creation, it is called
Ishvara.
In this verse, the word dharma refers to
Atma.
That's good.
Please go through. Repeat.
The word dharma means dharanat, that which sustains. So it is variously used in different contexts. So we should be alert. When dharma refers to ethics, morality, we know it is sustaining society. When dharma refers to the ultimate substratum of the universe, it is Atma. When dharma refers to Srishti, Sthiti, Laya, Karana of creation, it is Ishvara. In this verse, it is Atma. So, continuing with the same verse, here Yamadharmaraja is requesting, almost pleading with Nachiketas to change this boon. He feels it's not yet time to give Brahma Vidya. So it looks like he's reluctant to impart this Atma Vidya to unqualified students because he knows that when it is given and misunderstood, we can create generations of confused people. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna had expressed similar concern. Can you just recollect a few words that Krishna had used, which kind of is similar to what Yamadharmaraja is saying?
In the 18th chapter, at the conclusion of the teaching, Sri Krishna says, never give this knowledge to a person, a shushrusha, the one who is not interested to listen, the one who is anasuya, who has, I think, jealousy, one who, please tell us more.
Okay. So, as you said, the verse 67, towards the end of the Bhagavad Gita, the verse goes like this: Idam te na atapaskayaha na abhaktayaha. A person who does not follow austerities, a person who's not a bhakta, kadachana na cha ashushrushrave vachyam na chama yaha abhyasuyati. This teaching should never be imparted to a person who's without austerity, who's not a devotee, nor one who's not desirous of even listening, and to people who are critical of me. Although the entire Kathopanishad that follows is the answer to the third boon, the first and second boons are significant because, please select the right answer, Karma Khanda is as important as Jnana Khanda for Atma Jnanam. To reveal the anityatvam of anatma prapancha, we could choose between karma and jnana khanda for moksha. And when even the devas could not understand atma jnana, we should understand it's futile to even try to do so.
I think the appropriate answer should be number 2, to reveal the anityatvam of anatma. That means we have to be a good choice of, which will come in the next section. Are we choosing Shreyas or Preyas?
That's right. Absolutely right. It is to reveal the anityatvam of anatma prapancha. So here in this verse, Nachiketa says Antaka. He refers to Yamadharmaraja as Antaka, destroyer, the controller of time. Shva, very well explained in the class, nothing much to say here. Shvo bhavaha. Shvaha means tomorrow. Abhavaha means may not be existent. That means everything in this world is ephemeral. And all that they do is jarayanti. They weaken. What do they weaken? Yad etad tejaha sarva indriyanam mrityasya, the sense organs of us mortals. Also, he says, sarva jivitam alpam eva, every man is short lived. Based on this, what is the message that we should get from here? Is this an expression of mumukshutvam?
It is a trick question because it is not an expression of mumukshutvam. Shobhava means he's trying to give reasons, being viveka for vairagya. So the answer should be, it is more looking for viveka and vairagya rather than for mumukshutvam. Chances should be false.
That's right. Nachiketas, being a child, did not appreciate the value of the gifts offered to him.
False, because he has given excellent reasonings for why he has chosen or why he has refused these gifts.
Does this convey vairagyam born out of viveka?
Absolutely. That is the right answer.
All materialistic acquisitions are ephemeral.
Very true.
All forms of longevity, including Brahmaloka Sukha, are ultimately alpam eva.
True. True.
Okay.
Repeat again for emphasis and mananam.
This is an expression of vairagyam born out of viveka. Nachiketas, being a child, he was not, although a child, he was very, very intelligent, so this is wrong. He did not value those gifts because he knew they were worthless. This is why we know he had vairagyam born out of viveka. He knew all materialistic acquisitions are ephemeral and all forms of longevity, including Brahmaloka Sukha, were ultimately alpam eva. So, in this verse, we have seen Manushyaha na tarpaniya vittena. That means wealth does not satisfy man. So, Nachiketas is expressing limitation of Artha Kama Dharma, superiority of Shreya Marga, Jara Marana are inevitable, heaven is finite compared to moksha, or all of the above.
All of the above.
That's right.
Again, please repeat because these are important things. Na vittena tarpaniya manushya, because human beings cannot be satisfied by any amount of wealth. So please repeat all these things.
Yeah. So this, we should remember that Artha Kama and Dharma are very limited compared to moksha. That is why we ought to choose the Shreya Marga, and Jara Marana are inevitable in the Priya Marga. Heaven is finite compared to moksha, so seeking heaven, even Brahmaloka, may not be the best option. So we have to choose the Shreya Marga and go for Atma Vidya. So, yaha ayam varaha anupravishtaha gudam. He says this boon, Nachiketa says, this boon has become inaccessible. This means it is difficult to get Atma Jnanam. Does it mean a Brahma Jnani is necessary guru for Brahma Vidya? Atma Jnanam is a hidden wisdom. Everyone is confused about self-knowledge. This knowledge is beyond body-mind complex and the empirical world of perception. Or does it include all of the above?
It looks like the best answer would be all of the above.
So this is indirectly describing Atma Jnana, the third boon that he has selected. Nachiketas expresses it is difficult to get this. He requires a guru, a Brahma Jnani, to get this Vidya. And he also knows it is a hidden wisdom. Everyone is confused. That's why we need a Shrotriya Brahmanishta to teach us. And this knowledge is beyond the body-mind complex and empirical world of perception. Therefore, all of the above. Thank you.
Good questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Hegde sir, for taking us through the Tivra mumukshutvam, that is steadfastness, coupled with viveka and vairagya of Nachiketas, to compel Yamadharmaraja to teach him what he is insisting upon, which we'll see in the next class. Thank you, Anupama Madam, for that wonderful teaching quiz, which helps us to clear our doubts, if any. Thank you, friends, for your total participation. Next week, we will enter the central theme of Kathopanishad with second Valli. Coming Monday on 1st August 2025, let's tune in for 12th and final session of Drik Drisha Viveka at 6:45 p.m. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavachishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Thank you. Thank you all.